Hey guys, I'm back for another part of my favorite movies of all time series. I'm going to go ahead and get into it. In this video, I'm going to be talking about teen comedies and some more family films. And I think the next video I do, I'll talk about more comedies and get back into horror films. And then the last video, which will be I think the 7th part, will be my final top 10 movies. I'm probably going to upload the next part either tomorrow or Friday, and then I'll want to get up the last part by this weekend because I know that this series has gone on for a while now, and I want to go ahead and finish it up and then move on to something else. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This first one is one of my favorite teen comedies, and that's American Pie. I remember the first time I saw this, it was on TV, and it was really edited down, and even then, I was really young when I saw it, so my mom, she didn't want me, she didn't, like that I was watching some of it. Of course, they edited a lot of it out, but, yeah, I really do enjoy this one. I think this movie has got a lot more heart than a lot of other teen comedies, and I think it's a good coming-of-age story as opposed to just being overly Of course, there are some overly sexual scenes, of course, you got Jason Biggs having sex with a pie and stuff like that, and of course the scene with Shannon Elizabeth, Nadia laying on the bed. I can't talk today, but this is one teen comedy that I think sort of lasted for years and years, and it's a great coming-of-age story. And like I said, there's some mature moments in it, there's some immature moments in it, and I think that's what makes it stand out for me compared to other teen comedies. And there's a lot of really likable characters. And as far as the rest of the movies go, I think the third one, American Wedding, is my second favorite. And I have not seen the last two, American Reunion and whatever American Pie Presents. I think it was the Book of Love or something. I don't remember. I think out of all the American Pie Presents, the only one I really liked was Band Camp, because I felt like that one had enough connection to the first three movies that it was sort of like just a fun spin-off movie. And then they had The Naked Mile, and it just it just stopped being funny and just started being overly sexual and immature. I do want to check out American Reunion soon, though. But yeah, American Pie, like I said, something about it just stands out. It stands out more, as with I cannot talk today. It stands out more than other teen comedies because it's got a lot of likable characters, and it's not just overly immature sex jokes throughout the entire movie. There's actually some, I guess you could call them heartfelt moments. Now this next one is Waiting. This is just a really funny one. Got Ryan Reynolds and Anna Faris, and it just basically shows what it's like to work at at a place like this, at a restaurant, and all the crazy stuff. And of course you got the penis showing game, the dick showing game. Come on, the goat. Just funny. Take a look at the bat wing. So that shit's just funny, man. What's another really good one from that one? I can't remember, but yeah, the penis showing game is hilarious. But that's a really good one as well. And this one is Lords of Dogtown. And I saw this movie back when I was getting really into skateboarding. And this movie is basically about the boys in in California. Just a group of skaters that sort of brought skateboarding to the masses because skateboarding was just sort of starting out there, and they started riding bulls. And this is a story about Jay Adams, Stacy Peralta, and Tony Alva, who are some of the biggest innovators in skateboarding, some of the biggest innovators in skateboarding of all time. If you know anything about skateboarding, then you know who I'm talking about. And this is a really great movie that basically just shows what it was like for them to bring skateboarding to the masses, and showing how big they got and how popular they got during the 70s. And it's a really great one. Great movie. Next one is actually a sequel, but it's Eurotrip. Now, I enjoyed this one and the first one, Road Trip. I enjoyed both of these movies, but I think I prefer this one I enjoyed this one over the first one. I just thought this one was funnier, but I really enjoyed both of them. They're both really great ones. Eurotrip. Now, the next one is one of my all-time favorite comedies. I grew up watching this movie, not this version of it, but I grew up watching the the PG-13 version of it, and it's definitely one movie that I see in everybody's top favorite comedies list. And I really do think that it's one of the most popular comedy movies of all time. Dumb and Dumber. What else can be said about this movie that hasn't already been said? It's one of Jim Carrey's best films, and it's just an all-around, and Jeff Daniels is great in it as well, and it's one movie that's lived on for years, and it's just an all-around great comedy. Some other Jim Carrey movies that I didn't pick up, or I'm not showing, is The Mask, Liar Liar, Me, Myself, and Irene. There's just so many great movies that he's been in, and those are just a couple of the ones that I really do enjoy. The next one is National Lampoon's Van Wilder. This one I'd say is a lot cruder than, you know, American Pie, but it does have some good, you know, really great moments in this one as well. And of course you got the dog in it. It's got the huge testicles. That shit's funny. But yeah, Van Wilder, one of my favorite National Lampoon movies. And then right here, this is one of my favorite stoner comedies, Grandma's Boy. I absolutely love this film. It's one of my favorite comedies. I would watch this with my cousin Spencer all the time, and it's just one of the funniest movies. Of course, you got the guy JT or JP, sorry, who thinks he's a robot. I am not amused. Yeah, but me and my cousin Spencer, we would just quote him all the time. Yeah, I just got the new season of Buffy the Vampire. I just got the new season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer on DVD. I'm gonna kick it at my crib and watch the bonus features. Shit like that just really geeks me out, and this is a really great movie, really great comedy. You're okay, Wendy Wu. Wendy sees another dog outside and she wants to go play. I'm sorry, girl. You okay? Another one of my favorite films, and this is definitely again another movie me and my cousin watched, and we quote this movie all the time. Pineapple Express, one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and we quote this movie all the time. It's just an all-around great movie. This movie has become definitely one of my top favorite comedies of all time, and I absolutely love this movie, Pineapple Express. Alright, now we're going to move on to some family films and a couple of other films like this. The first one is, out of all the Harry Potter movies, the first one has always been my favorite one. I absolutely love this one. I really enjoy most of the Harry Potter movies that I've seen. I haven't seen I haven't seen the last two or the last three, because I know the seventh one, you know, they split that up into two parts, but I haven't seen the last three movies. And there was another one I didn't see. I think it was Order of the Phoenix. I don't think I've seen that one either. But yeah, Harry Potter movies, really do enjoy those, and I'd say the first two are my favorite ones. Up next is another movie that has Macaulay Culkin in it, and this one also has Gina Malone, Mandy Moore, and that is Saved. Basically, kids, you know, go to a religious school and things start happening, and it's a very great coming-of-age story. I really do enjoy this one, and it's got some pretty funny moments. It's a really good one, and I really do recommend this one. Now, I've shown this DVD off before, but I talked about the other film, and for this video right here, I'm talking about this one, Uncle Buck, one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's another movie that's, you know, lasted for years. It's on TV all the time, and it's definitely one of John Candy's best films. I love Uncle Buck. Another one of his best films, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, another really great one. Now we got the only action movie I'm showing off, Pulp Fiction. Absolutely amazing film. What more can you say about it? Then we got a movie that's kind of an action movie, but it's also comedy, and it's just an all-around great film. Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? This movie is a classic in my opinion, even though it came out and it hasn't been out for that many years, but I really love this movie. Next we got the sequel to one of my favorite movies of all time, My Girl 2. I absolutely love this one. I've talked about these movies before, so I won't go too much into them, but I love both My Girl movies. I grew up with the first one, and that's one of my favorite films, and the second one is really good. A lot of people say I think they say that they prefer this one over the first one because this one's a lot happier. But I really do enjoy this. I've also got the VHS of it. I wish that they would put this out on Blu-ray, but I don't really know because the first one is a lot more sought after than the second one. So I don't know if we'll see it. I hope we do. I hope they do put it out on Blu-ray, but who knows. Now, the next one is one movie that really gets crapped on, and I really don't get it. I guess because the second one is so bad. But the first Baby Geniuses movie was actually good. I actually enjoyed this movie. I remember growing up with this film, and there's a lot of sort of intense moments in it that I know a lot of younger kids, it might frighten younger kids. It's only PG, but I really do enjoy this one. And like I said, I have not seen the second one, but it looks terrible. I don't know why they went that route with the sequel. I think it would have made more sense if they had just called it Super Babies and not had it be related to this movie, because this movie is nowhere close to being as over the top and goofy as that one. And now we got another classic movie, The Little Rascals. I'm sure so many people know about this one. I actually saw this movie before I watched a lot of the classic black and white short films, and then I went on and I started watching those. But yeah, The Little Rascals, one of my favorite movies, and I really do enjoy the classic black and white comedies as well. Now this is another movie that I got. I rented this movie several times, and it's called The River Pirates, and it's one movie that I don't hear anyone talk about, but it's based on a book called Good Old Boy, A Delta Boyhood, and as you can see, it's an old rental tape. I got this from my local video store called Movie Gallery, and I rented so many movies from them, and this was one movie I rented, and this was put out by the company Vidmark, which I forget exactly what happened to them, but this is basically a movie about these kids, and they live in Mississippi in when was this? I forget the exact year, but there's a group of I guess you'd call them pirates, sort of out stealing things. They're not really pirates, they're more just like bandits, and it's just a group of kids, and there's a story of a witch, and the witch is played by Anne Ramsey, and this is actually her last film. And I know I didn't really give that movie justice, but just look it up and read about it, because that's one movie I don't hear anyone talk about, and it's one, and I do think it's a really good one. So you just, I know I didn't explain it good at all, but just read about it and check it out. Now another one is a movie that everybody knows about, Free Willy. I really don't need to talk about it. It's a really great movie. Another one, Dennis the Menace. And I enjoyed this one, but I think I saw the second one first, Dennis the Menace Strikes Again, and they're both really good. It's basically just a new adaptation of the classic comedy strips, and it's Dennis, and he's Mr. Wilson, he thinks he's a menace, and Dennis always puts him into a lot of pain. And then Christopher Lloyd is actually in this, and he plays sort of like a robber, and him and Dennis come in touch, and Dennis like accidentally tortures him and stuff, and of course he doesn't know that he's a burglar, but that's a really good one that I know a lot of people know about. Now this one is next one, Casper: A Spirited Beginning. I love the first Casper movie, the original, and I have this one, and then the other one, Casper Meets Wendy, which is kind of a sequel slash because every movie it's like the events of the last movie never happened. Like for Casper, for this movie, this is when Casper first realizes that he's dead, and he meets this young boy and his father who moves into this house or this mansion. And then in the other movie that's just called Casper, that I'm sure everyone has seen with Christina Ricci, it's as if the events of this movie never happened. And then in Casper Meets Wendy, it's as if the events of this movie and the events of Casper never happened. It's kind of confusing because every single movie is like he's meeting a human for the first time, But this one, I really enjoyed this one, and I enjoy all the Casper movies, or all the big screen ones. I haven't seen a lot of the animated ones. Up next, I talked about this movie before, but it's First Kid. This is a bit about a president's son, and Sinbad is sort of like his bodyguard. and all the kid wants to do is sort of like, you know, he likes this girl and he wants to be liked in school, so Sinbad is trying to help him out, sort of be a, you know, sort of helping him out, trying to get friends and trying to impress this girl. It's a good one. Here's one I know everybody's seen, Babe. I really don't need to talk about it. Everyone's seen it, and it's a beautiful, beautiful film. Another movie I've talked about before, Getting Even with Dad, and yes, it's another Macaulay Culkin movie, and this also has Ted Danson in it. And I've talked about this movie before. Ted Danson and his two friends, Ted Danson had got out of prison, and he wants to rob or steal these coins that are worth a lot of money. And he hasn't seen his son in years. And basically, him and his friend steal these coins, and his son finds out about it. So what he basically does is that he says that, so Macaulay Culkin's character takes the coins and hides them and says, if you show me a good time and spend time with me, because Ted Danson has never really spent time with his son. Macaulay Culkin's character says, if you spend time with me and show me a good time, then I'll show you where I hid your coins. And it's basically just about them sort of reconnecting as father and son, and it's a really good one. Now here's kind of the opposite of Babe. It's not really an opposite. It's a talking pig movie called Gordy, and I guess you can call it a knockoff of Babe and a knockoff of maybe Charlotte's Web. But I enjoyed this one. I know it's really not that one's not really talked about a whole lot. Now I absolutely love both these movies. There's two of them, but I saw this one before I saw the first one. But it's Homeward Bound and Homeward Bound 2. I love both these movies. You know, they're both really great. You know, the two dogs and a cat. In the first one, they get lost in the woods, and in this one, they get lost in San Francisco. And they're both really, really great movies. And the last one I'll show off, I know this video's gone for too long, is Jumanji. And I think everyone has seen this one. Of course, it's the board game that if you play it, it comes to life. And, you know, it unleashes, animals and stuff. And this is when Robin Williams' character gets sucked into a board game. And it's an absolutely great movie. It's one of my favorite family films. Alright, so I know this video's gone on for too long, but like I said in my next video, I'm going to finish up comedies probably, and then I'll do horror films, and then I'll do one more video after that. Anyway guys, thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks everyone for following me on these videos. Let me know what you guys think about any of these movies. I know I got kind of tongue-tied at the beginning of the video, but like I said, absolutely love all these movies. And yeah, anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'm way too big to drive to the devil's house. Yeah, quoting Grandma's Boy again. Anyway guys, I'll see you guys later.